Hi, welcome to today's episode of The Floating Studio. I have been begging Kath to do this episode for so long. It's where I give instruction on how to paint something that Kath has requested, and Kath follows along and she follows those instructions and paints a painting because Kath's always really wanted to paint. She has, and she's given it a go a few times. Recently we've been talking to a friend on Twitter, and she's been saying how tricky it might be to start painting from scratch. So I wanted to do a tutorial, a how-to tutorial that will get you from A to Z for painting your first ever watercolor.
So what we're starting off with is Anna Marie uses this watercolor paper, which is quite good quality. I don't think I should be using this as a beginner.
I do have some sketch watercolor paper, but I'm just going to show you that it's not going to matter. Next time we do it, we can use different watercolor paper.
Yeah, so we're using this one, which is really good quality. And there was only one sheet left because she's done lots of paintings. I've haphazardly cut it in half into two A5 sheets, and that's what we're going to start with.
Yes.
She's got lots of art supplies on the table,
but we're not using them.
That we're not going to use.
No.
Because it's so daunting when you first go into an art shop or look online to see all of the different products available.
Yes.
So we're going to keep it simple, and she's laid out these paint trays, which, as you can see, are very well used.
Yes.
When they come brand new, these are little...
They're so lovely.
They're half pans, aren't they? And they're filled with blocks of paint. A bit like the palettes that you might have used if you did painting in school, but much better quality.
Yes, but if you only have school watercolor paints, you know, that come in those palettes, you can do exactly this painting. It's going to look a little bit different, but it's still going to be fun. So if you're following along at home and you don't have a Winsor Newton half pan collection, it's not a problem. Just follow along with whatever you have. So the other thing is we are going to use 2 paintbrushes for this whole painting. If you want, you can use 3. But just so that you're not overwhelmed.
Why aren't we just using 1?
Because we've got a bigger paintbrush, and we're going to do the background first and let that dry, and we're going to do that with a bigger paintbrush.
Okay, so shall I get your paintbrush holder?
Yes.
Obviously not everyone will have one of these very skillfully crafted paintbrush holders.
Okay, so we basically have a 3, a 2 and a 1, and that is all we're using today. We're actually not even going to use the 2. Get your 3 paintbrush, because we're going to do a landscape today with a sunset background and some green hills and a tree.
I'm very nervous.
Are you excited though?
Yeah.
Okay, so
my paintbrush is wet.
Take your wet paintbrush, and you are going to apply water.
Just water?
Yep, to the top. Just like a line across the top that is about 1 centimetre in width.
You can already see the difference in how we hold the paintbrushes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
So see how you've got some non-wet bits here?
Yeah.
When you put your paint here,
yeah,
it will bleed into the water and not into that bit.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So when you've got a line of water on your landscape piece of paper, you want to choose what colour you're going to start with for your landscape. I think for the sunset, I think if we start with if we end with a light colour, we can start with a dark colour and it can graduate down the page.
Okay, so dark up the top.
I think so.
My line's not as big as yours.
Yeah, so do a bigger line.
So more than 1 centimetre, more like 2 centimetres.
Okay. This is a really lovely blue in the palette. That one, it's really shiny and bright.
Okay.
So you want to put some water on your paintbrush.
Yeah.
And then you want to kind of make this palette, that blue one, a little bit wet. A bit more. A bit more water. Like, don't be scared of making it quite wet in there. Okay, a bit more.
More water? It's really wet.
Oh, you want to load it up with a bit more water.
I'm wasting all this paint.
You're not. Okay, so you've got your...
My blue.
Then you're going to take your paintbrush.
Yeah.
And you're going to go at the top and you're just going to lay a line and it's going to float into your water. There you go. That's awesome.
Finished.
Okay. Yep. Now don't take it back into your paint, take it into your water. Take it straight from your water to your page.
Right.
Yep.
And then wash over the top.
Yep. So then take your water back into your paintbrush, back into your water, and just colour it in so that it's heading down the page. That's it.
And then because we're using watercolour, it's normal for the page to
Buckle a little
and
bit.
stuff,
Yeah.
right.
So a bit more water. You want to keep this quite wet. Okay. Nice bit more water.
Bigger brush would have been good.
Bit more water for that side. Don't try to spread it when it gets dry like that. Just go for more water.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now you've got a line of water. You want to clean your brush a little bit and do that 2 centimetre line again.
Okay. Just with water.
Yep, just with water. You want to transition your colour.
And that bit of bleed there, that's fine.
It looks really nice in the sunset if it bleeds down like that. You can get rid of those Alice cat hairs when it's dry, and then you don't get your fingers all over it.
Okay.
So wet your red. And it doesn't matter if you have that much water in your red, because what happens with watercolour is it eventually just dries out and it goes back to what it looked like.
Okay.
So you want to take your red line at the top of your water line, and you want to just mix it in. Run it across and mix it in. Now you don't go back into your palette, mix it with your water.
So you just use a tiny bit of paint and just spread it?
Yeah, pretty much. Especially for a background, because we're doing a sunset. So see when you get to here,
Yeah.
you might want to try taking your brush sideways up a little bit into the blue. That's it.
Oh, and then it sort of blends the colours a bit.
Yeah. And if you want any of your bits to get a little bit darker, get your red on your paintbrush and just decide where there might be a streak. Yep, and you can get your blue from, if you clean your paintbrush and dry it a little bit, you can get your blue from earlier. It's really powerful blue as well, so you can be careful with it. And just put a streak wherever you want. Yeah, if you decide you don't like any of the streaks, you just get a little bit of water, and this is the trick, watch this. You get a little bit of water and you just dub it where the blue was. A bit more water than that. Yeah. How cool is that?
Oh, that's awesome.
It's nice, isn't it? So it will look like a little burst. So again, take your wet, clean paintbrush.
Yeah.
Another 2 centimetre line.
You have a spray can for this.
What does that mean?
You spray it on.
Water.
Dup, dup, dup.
So is this activity too labour intensive for you? Okay, so you want to go with orange next. So wet your orange. And then you're doing the same thing. Take your line across. Keep it nice and zigzaggy. Then get your water. We're not made of paper towels. Okay, and remember, paint it up if you want it to go up into your pink.
How did you do that? Just like that?
Yeah, kind of like that, rocking motion. But you're in red now, which is fine.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Oh, good.
We all believe that, right?
You can take some of your orange, like we did before, and you can decide.
Mine doesn't go down as far as yours.
That's okay, doesn't matter. You can decide where you want the orange bits. Cool. A little bit of clear water, and then we're going to end with a yellow.
Okay. Which yellow? There's not much yellow left.
I can use some of mine.
You've got even less yellow.
Just, Now the yellow is really great. If you take your yellow and you do a couple of, like if you load it up quite a bit and then you do a couple of sun spots, so you drop it in somewhere and then you put a little bit of water with it, it'll make a sunspot. Yep. And then take your clean water. And that will look quite nice.
Okay.
That's your sunset. That's your background.
Finished.
That's your background.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So,
Do they look the same, do you think?
well, they look like two sunset pictures.
You feel? Here's the pros. And there's the amateur.
It doesn't matter. So we've done our background for our landscape. We're just going to let that dry, and by the magic of YouTube we're going to come back and it's going to be completely dry like that, but I can't click with my left hand.
Through the magic of YouTube, it is now the second day of painting. We will fess up and admit to having had technical difficulties where we ran out of space from filming this on the phone to do the top-down shot. So this is actually going to be my third attempt.
So we're going to put in a hill in the distance and a hill a little bit closer. So we're going to choose a kind of lighter grassy kind of green, which is usually that one there.
Is that wet enough?
Yep. Nice and wet. And remember, turn your brush on the side and you're going to take a diagonal in the distance, going diagonally down to the middle of your page.
Oops.
Try not to go all the way down like that, like try to build it up.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
One thing I learnt yesterday from doing this 2 times, twice, is that about moving the paint with the water. But I'm not doing it very well.
And you want to leave some of these spaces untouched.
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't want it to be a complete block of green. You find with beginners, they sometimes think that it has to be all green. But actually the watercolour works best if you can just place it on in bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Because you want some of the lighter bits to show through.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
So should I make this next bit darker now?
Yeah, you can add a little bit of the other green, which is a little bit darker, or you can add a little bit of the blue that we used earlier. And again, have a look. I'm not doing a rainbow, taking it from the bottom and just
Okay.
dabbing it up. That's it. And leave those, don't feel you have to colour those bits in. That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Because you know the hill has different colours. And now take another one here.
A darker one.
You can go darker or lighter.
And I learnt about taking water off with my brush.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so what I thought is if we put in the distance a few really tiny bits of grass there, we're actually going to introduce a bit of colour over on this side so that there's like a poppy field.
With my 3?
Yeah. So put a little bit of colour onto it. Put your brush on the side and like really, it's very quick and haphazard. Yeah, that's nice. Now remember, we're not making a rainbow along there, so you want to do that here as well. So imagine you were walking your paintbrush over to the top of the side of the hill.
Very tricky. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And now get a little bit of orange. We're using 2 pans at the moment because not very organised. A little bit of orange, and you are doing a really light apply, and it will bleed into your green, and that's fine. Yeah. So lots of little light application because they're going to actually look like our flowers.
Am I supposed to be doing the up? Because my dobs are bigger than your dobs.
Yeah, but again, remember, it's just because you're a beginner, so your pressure's different.
So should I be dobbing it
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, that's nice. And then take a little bit of yellow. Maybe your paintbrush is a bit too wet. Go take a little bit of yellow, and you're going to put the yellow dobs in the middle of the orange dobs.
It's not doing anything.
That's going to spread the colour out and just make it all like watercolory. That's it.
It's not doing anything.
No, it is. You just can't see it yet. It just needs to be little dobs. You want it to be messy.
Are you sure that?
Okay, and you're going to take a little bit of red and you're going to do the same, but not in the middle. You're just going to do it at the bottom of your dobs.
This red looks like the orange that we used earlier.
It does. There's only a very subtle difference.
Your paintbrush is smaller than mine.
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing again?
Just little red dobs at the bottom.
It's the same colour.
Excellent. All right, so that's just a little field of flowers. And absolutely, like, this field of flowers is fine and this field of flowers is fine. It's just a field of flowers. We're going to do a smaller hill over on this side. This time when you do this hill, you want to try to leave it a little bit more jagged than the kind of...
The one I did, yeah.
The arc that you've been doing.
My rainbow hill.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, take some of the blue because this is a closer hill, and again just dab it on top of the green that you've just done. Because
which blue?
This blue here. Because you just want it to
paying attention to teacher.
A little bit closer. Yep, and then remember we're going to take the grass up. Off. So
I just went rogue.
So put your paintbrush on the side,
yeah,
and you are literally using your bristles to pull the paint up.
Okay.
Okay. On the side, you're still pointing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go.
I mean, doesn't look the same.
Okay, there's our hills.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. We're going to give this one the same flowers.
Oh no. No, I don't like the flowers. Let's just get on with the tree.
You'll have to do them at some point.
Why?
So with the flowers, you really just want to splodge them on. They're not going to look like anything in particular. They're a bit bigger than this side because they're just splodged on.
Okay.
A little bit of yellow. We'll have to rename this like something like something to do with how tantrumy you are. You're helping people. Doesn't that feel good?
Yeah.
Okay. Tree time. All right.
Yay.
The light is going to hit your tree from the top, and so the top of your tree is going to want to be a lighter green than the bottom of your tree. So we're probably going to do it in a few stages. We'll let you know when we stop to let things dry. So top of your tree, we're going to go with our green.
Oh, we're starting with the top of the tree?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're going to go with our green, and we're going to mix a little bit of yellow into it. So I'm just going to take some of that off because that was from earlier. Okay. So we're going to go green on the palette, and this is the top of the tree. So I'm going to mix just a little bit of yellow in.
And a new, and a new. It's not really showing up on my blue. Because my blue is so dark.
Put that like that. And then we're going to put quite a bit of water on the paintbrush and do another layer there.
Okay.
Because we're going to do a darker layer when it dries. We're going to let that dry. So as we go down the tree, it's going to get a little bit darker. So I'm going to take the same green we had earlier.
Yeah.
And we're going to put a little bit of blue in it to make it a little bit darker. Cat hair is optional.
This is a long one. With a white tip. I wonder whose that was.
Okay. Again, your brush needs to be on the... You're still doing your brush like that. Brush needs to be on the side.
So is that the right way of holding it then?
However you want to hold it. When I'm doing it like this, I usually...
Okay.
It's like I'm shoveling it. Shovel.
Tell her there's no shoveling.
And then we're going to go and only do half the amount on this line. So we're going to go over.
What am I doing? Just smooshes.
We're doing smooshes, and we're doing it in... Yeah, perfect. We're doing it in the non-wet bits.
Oh, okay, so not...
But not all the way up. Yep. Okay. And then you're going to do another layer of U's and ends and U's underneath. Mix it up with some W's and some M's and some V's. Try to leave some spaces so you don't make this big long line. That's it. Cool. And then even more sparingly, maybe just a couple there and there. Okay. So as we're coming down the page, you can see the green's getting darker.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So finally, we're going to take our green that we started with, put the blue in that we've been using, and then we're going to take a little bit of red, which is going to make it an even darker green, like a shadow green.
Is that a green or is it a brown?
Because underneath these leaves is going to be shadow green. So you're going to take it at the bottom, and as you go up, you're just going to lightly, kind of, what would you call that? Go backwards and forwards and push it up a bit. Zhuzh it and push it up a bit. That's it. Because that's the leaves that are at the bottom.
Yours is darker than mine. I must have still had lots of green on my paper.
Yeah, and probably because I mixed it. Nice. Yeah, good job. Okay, and remember, some of these are going to have some shading as well. So you want to get your paintbrush and you want to pick out some of the bits that are going to have a bit of shading.
So there's no right or wrong answer with this, is there? It's just playing around.
Yeah. That's nice. That's really nice. Yep. Cool. So this is now the top of the tree kind of done. We're going to do some of the trunk and the branches. Then we have to let it dry again. Then we have to do another layer of leaves.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So for the trunk, everybody wants to go with a big brown trunk. But actually what we're going to do is we're going to do ours a little bit more on the blue scale. So we're going to take this...
So your natural instinct is to do brown.
Yeah.
But
we're going to take this other blue that we have in our pan, mix it with a bit of the green, and mix it with a bit of the red. Okay. And you're going to get this kind of purpley grey. And then we're going to put it on the page.
oh, like what are they called? Those big wind things.
Okay.
What's the thing that came on Wizard of Oz?
Oh, yeah.
Hurricane, isn't it?
Yep.
Like that?
Yep. Because
hurricanes is what I can draw.
Because what some people like to do is they like to just do the line, whereas so a little bit, you'll need a little bit kind of thicker here.
My hurricane's not thick enough, so
No.
is it?
So you want to move the paint from side to side as you're going up. Move the water from side to side. That's it. Yep.
So not so much scribble, scribble.
Then get a clean brush. Yeah. Dry it off a little bit. And then what you want to do is take some of the paint off.
Oh yeah, I know about that from that's how you do your shading and stuff with perspective, isn't it?
That's good.
Easier than it looks. I mean, it's hard.
Doesn't need to be one whole line though, does it? Because it's just bark will reflect differently.
Yeah.
So take your colour again, and we're going to go out maybe like a nice kind of, what could that be, 45 degrees maybe?
Yeah.
From here. And again, like a little hurricane until you reach a leaf.
So out like that.
Yeah.
And then hurricane it.
Yeah.
Mine's going to go off the page, so I don't have any low leaves there.
Yeah.
And I did it too thick.
Oops, wrong one. Okay.
Do I need to darken mine up as well?
Yeah. Nice. That's really good. Okay, and then just so that it's kind of symmetrical, we're going to take probably this one. Do your hurricane as you're going. Probably up to about there.
Okay.
Yeah. That's nice. Nice. Good job. Okay. And you can take your dry brush again. You can take up some of the paint if you want, just to create a bit of texture. And then you notice some of your leaves are mostly dry now, so we're going to go back over this painting, and again we're going to start from the top and we're going to work our way down to the bottom, and we're going to add in light green, dark green, and some greys and some blues. Yeah, so under those are going to be a bit darker, aren't they?
I'm happy with that.
Okay, and then you want to get your darker even still colour to your blue and your green and your red.
What's that for?
That's for down here where the shadows are. The shadows are under all your leaves. So, my student's very grumpy and tired, and I need to make her a cup of tea. So we are going to pause there. We're going to stop there. I think we've covered quite a lot. I think that you've really improved how you hold the paintbrush. The only thing I want to do, it's going to test Kath's patience a little bit, is just make the trunk less transparent.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just going to get some of the dark brown that we have.
Yep.
And we're going to mix it in with the green that we had left over anyway. So you're not using a pure brown, and a little bit of the blue. And then we're just going to take that with the side of our paintbrush and we're going to roll it on as though it's bark. We're just going to roll it up the page.
Which is really hard to do.
I didn't say it was going to be easy. I just don't want it to look. Cool. And don't forget your white bit here. It doesn't matter if you go over that.
Oi!
Sorry. Cool. And then what I did was I just did a little line here just to cement.
Oh, so all of the lines that we've been working against for the last 2 days.
You could put them on at the end. Yeah, all the way down because it goes off the page. Nice. And then you want to take this line here as well. Just a little bit. See that? It's not all the way. Yeah. And then up here as well. Yeah. Perfect. And then just side of your brush, because you've got the darker one on, a few bits of grass. Now you've got a really dry paintbrush. You can move the grass by flicking it. Perfect. Cool. All right.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So Anna Marie has a Facebook page. So if you're on Facebook, click over to Art by Anna Marie Facebook page and share your attempts at this painting to make me feel better.
I think you've done really well because you really didn't trust the flowers, but you can see how good the flowers are, can't you?
Yours, yeah, I can definitely see what you were achieving with yours.
So
mine looked like I cut my finger and dripped over the paint. page.
If you want to see Kath doing more beginner type paintings, then please leave a comment below. I think you did really well because it is completely out of your comfort zone.
It is completely, yes.
Yeah. So
well thanks for watching. We hope that's been entertaining, and we look forward to seeing your attempts too.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
They do really well. You can't even tell them apart. You can't. Do a photo for JC Diamond.